So this is my camera Contax 645. This is my go-to camera for weddings, for any portrait sessions. It is medium format, shot on film, and you can hear the rewinder. This is the back of, see, you can take out the cartridge and enter your film. You get 16 shots in one of these. So it really changed. This is the baby that changed the game for me. It made me go from just like everybody else to something different. So here's my story. I have been given the opportunity to live in China for 8 years of my life, the first 8 years, and I came to Australia in 1991. The reason why I say I'm blessed is because I have the opportunity to experience my culture and heritage firsthand in the early years of my life. The things I have seen as a young child have really given me the perspective on how migrants put in the hard work in Australia as they want to lead a better life. My mum was a doctor in China, and my dad was a manager at a food manufacturing company. Renowned ones where you get a can of fish in China. Those are the ones that his factory manufactures. They left China for a better life, and to be honest, back in the 90s, China really didn't have any thing they've got going today. So if those of you have been to Vietnam today, that's what China looked like 25 years ago. And if you go to China now in this day and age, it's a miles ahead of what it used to be. So it's a huge improvement. But in hindsight, that's 2020 vision. But at the time, that's what made them leave the country and come to Australia. I went to school and finished up university and RMIT. I studied double degree and I majored in computer systems engineering and business administration. When I graduated, I worked as a tax accountant. Pretty different to what I've studied. And I did that for a year, and the following year, which is 2008, I started with National Australia Bank. And I've been there ever since as an analyst, doing SQL, doing Python scripting, pretty much programming and reporting and data warehousing, all that good stuff that is known as IT these days. So during 2010, I had a group of friends who were pretty much into cameras, into their photography. DSLR was a big thing back then, and they got me into it. Everyone was talking about full frame, everyone was talking about lenses, and I kind of got in on the action, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to go buy an expensive full frame camera, make the leap, and get into the scene. And I got my first full frame camera, D700, with a 50mm lens. And I thought, well, you know what, since I've got an expensive camera, a decent lens, I should take really good photos. I was wrong. That was a big mistake. So after that, I took the D700 along to a few trips with my then girlfriend and my wife now, Wendy, and we went traveling to Japan, to China, to Hong Kong, and each and every time when I come back from these trips, the photos weren't exactly the way I saw it when I took them. And it was at the end of that trip when I was on the plane, I remember vividly that I was looking through the pictures and I thought, it's been 3 trips since I've actually taken in decent photos, and it didn't reflect what I saw when I took the photo. So I thought, it must be me. It clearly must be the person behind the camera. It's got nothing to do with the tools. And that's when everything clicked in me and said, you've invested heavily into the camera, into the tool, but you haven't invested in your knowledge and how you use this tool. So that was when I said, you know what, I'm just going to go back to school and study photography, study it for what it is, and forget about the technical side of things for now. And the funny thing was, on YouTube back then, there wasn't much, back in 2010, there wasn't much videos you can actually watch that you've got these in this day and age. And the only thing I remember was you had Scott Kelby, which is, it's a training video you have to pay for, and if you don't go through the whole training set, it's and you need to buy it on DVD or CD. It's just not convenient like YouTube today. So when I studied photography, for the first 6 months I did not touch a camera, and that was a true fact, because all they taught me was the theory, the different ways of seeing light, the different qualities of light, and the rule of thirds. You know, all the theories, the color theories, and all the concepts behind photography, and looking at other people's work like Cartier-Bresson, Annie Leibovitz, Andy Warhol. You know, some of the famous photographers provided the work that we, inspire to in this day and age. After studying, I realized that the art of photography is not just simply mastering your camera settings. It's more than that. It's mastering the use of light, and then finding the ways of capturing it. So really, a camera is just a way to capture the light, how you see it and how you position things, and how you express yourself via a camera is the art. So not long after that, I got into wedding photography because it was convenient as a schedule. But more importantly, I gave myself a challenge that, in order to conquer my fears, and I'm a very introverted person, so all of this is very frightening for me, and I prefer to be honest, I actually prefer to type than to speak in front of a camera. But I realized in order to conquer my fears, I actually have to face my fears, and I said, well, what's one way to conquer my fears, and that is to put myself in front of people. And what's a convenient way of putting myself in front of people? Weddings. What better way? Get straight into the deep end and go for it. That was my first business venture with photography, and it wasn't easy. It was a hard slog. I've done it for 9 years, and it's been a wild journey. What really took off for me was the switch I made to go back to film, and I'll probably go through the story a bit in a different video about how I got into film. And it was really straightforward, but I'll talk about that in a separate video. So film photography really changed my look and feel and my style of photography, and that's what got a lot of audiences in, and that's what gave me that jump in the next level of my business. So 9 years later, since I got my first full frame camera, I'm here with a photography passion that's burning hotter and stronger than ever, and ready to show the world. Why am I here? The reason why I'm here is so that I want to leave a legacy behind. I want to share my knowledge and insights in photography by the way of videos, so that my next generation, not limited to my kids, can benefit from what I have done. Photography is my passion, and it's not something you can sit in front of someone, tell them what you should be doing, and they will get better at it. It's a lifelong process, and as the famous Bruce Lee once said, knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. I want to show my kids that there is every reason to follow your dreams. You don't have to be book smart and follow my path, which was dictated by my parents from very early on. I want them to know that life as an artist is very much possible, and it's okay not having a job. Number 2, I want to experiment and show that it's a way to explore your creativity. In today's day and age, we are encouraged highly to succeed the first time, and the repercussions will be severe if you fail. Well, in the world of photography, mistakes, and some would call this tension, is where all the creativity lies. So it is okay to fail in photography. Number 3, it's pretty much a selfish reason, but again, I want to conquer my fears. I do have a fear in sitting in front of a camera because I've been hiding behind it for the last 9 years, and now I guess it's time for me to show up in front of a camera instead of behind it. So what are my plans for this? Well, ideally I want to take you through behind the scenes and show you what I do as a process for my photography, especially wedding photography. I'd like to give you some of my thoughts, my insights into the world of photography, weddings, business. Hopefully do some vlogs along the way, show you my kids, and I'll be definitely showcasing some of the magic of film photography. And I'll also be talking about how we mix business and photography together. It's not going to be an easy discussion. Definitely I'll share some of my failures, some of my successes. Hopefully you can relate to it. Hopefully you'll get some insights to it. The main thing is I know what I've learnt along the journey, and hopefully you don't repeat the same mistakes, or you can build upon it. And that's it. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.